Princess Zara of the Valkyrie Empire stood at the observation deck, watching the blue planet grow larger as their ship approached Earth. She had been told all her life that she was defective, unable to continue the royal bloodline. Her father, King Raxus, had finally found a use for her, a diplomatic marriage to strengthen ties with the peculiar species called humans. The royal physician Mela adjusted the breathing apparatus on Zara's neck. "We have modified your systems to tolerate Earth atmosphere, but wear this for the first lunar cycle," she advised. Her violet eyes showed concern. Zara nodded, her silver skin reflecting the starlight. "What if he rejects me when he learns the truth?" she whispered. "The council chose this match because humans are known to value companionship over reproduction," Mela replied. "They believe this human will accept you." Regardless, Zara turned back to the viewport, her four-fingered hand resting against the crystal surface. The stars looked different from this angle. So far from her homeworld, she wondered if she would ever see the twin moons of Valkyrie again, or if this exile disguised as diplomacy would be permanent. The ship commander, Lyra, approached with a formal bow. "Your Highness, we enter Earth orbit in 30 minutes. Please prepare for landing protocols." Zara thanked her with the traditional gesture, her wrist luminescence glowing faintly in acknowledgement. In the preparation chamber, Zara studied her reflection. The royal attendants had dressed her in a combination of traditional Valkyrie ceremonial attire, modified to appear less alien to human sensibilities. The silvery membrane dress flowed like water around her tall, slender form. Her naturally luminescent markings along her temples and forearms were enhanced with ritual paint to signify her royal status. Ambassador Kira, the only Valkyrie who had lived among humans for more than a standard cycle, entered the chamber. "Your Highness, I have final instructions from the diplomatic corps," she said, bowing deeply. Zara gestured for her to continue. "The human Nathan Miller is considered an ideal match," Kira explained. "He serves as their scientific liaison and has expressed interest in Valkyrie culture." She paused briefly. "The king commanded I remind you that this union must appear genuine to maintain the alliance. Your failure would reflect poorly on the Empire." Zara felt her inner light dim slightly at the mention of her father. "Of course," she replied with practiced calm. "Tell me more about this human." She needed to know what sort of man would accept a barren alien wife as part of a political arrangement. "He is respected among his people," Kira continued. "Not of their highest rank, but with connections to their governing bodies. He studies xenobiology and helped develop the atmospheric conversion technology that allows us to visit Earth without protection." She checked her data tablet. "He is unmarried, 32 Earth years in age, and according to human standards, physically appealing. And what does he know of me?" Zara asked the question that truly concerned her. Kira looked uncomfortable for a moment. "He knows you are fourth in line to the Valkyrie throne, and that this marriage strengthens the technological exchange treaty. He knows your biology differs from human women, and that reproduction is not expected or not possible." Zara pressed her luminescence pulsing with emotion. Kira lowered her eyes. "The diplomatic corps thought it best to leave certain details ambiguous, Your Highness. The humans might reconsider if they knew the full truth of your condition. On Earth in the United Nations Extraterrestrial Relations Headquarters in Geneva." Nathan Miller adjusted his formal suit for the fifth time. "Why me?" he asked again, running a hand through his short brown hair. Ambassador Ellen Harper sighed patiently. "We have been over this, Nathan. You have the scientific background to understand their technology, your family connections, give you diplomatic standing, and most importantly, you volunteered for the extraterrestrial cultural exchange program." "But marriage," he exclaimed. "I thought I'd be studying their technology, not marrying their princess." Ellen smiled tightly. "We need this alliance, Nathan. The Valkyrie quantum navigation technology is decades beyond anything we have. If securing that advantage means a diplomatic marriage, then that's what we do." Nathan paced the preparation room. "What about children?" he asked, suddenly stopping. "Would that even be possible?" Ellen hesitated. "The Valkyrie have been vague on that point, They indicate reproduction is not expected from this union. They emphasize cultural exchange and diplomatic ties. A gentle tone sounded throughout the facility. The Valkyrie ship has entered final approach, announced the automated system. Nathan took a deep breath, straightened his shoulders, and nodded to Ellen. "All right," he said. "I'm ready." The landing ceremony was elaborate and formal. Representatives from 20 nations stood in precise formation. As the Valkyrie ship descended in complete silence, its gravity drives creating none of the turbulence or noise of human spacecraft. The vessel resembled a massive teardrop of liquid metal gleaming in the afternoon sun. When the ship finally settled on the landing pad, a seam appeared in its previously smooth surface. A ramp of the same liquid metal consistency flowed outward, forming an elegant path to the ground. 4 Valkyrie honor guards descended first there, ceremonial armor pulsing with internal light. Their faces remained impassive as they took positions at the base of the ramp. Ambassador Kira emerged next, her formal diplomatic attire marking her as the official representative. She approached Ellen and performed the traditional greeting. Nathan watched carefully as Ellen mirrored the gesture, placing her right hand, palm outward, fingers spread while inclining her head slightly. The honor guards activated their ceremonial staffs, creating an archway of gentle blue light, and then Princess Zara appeared. Nathan felt his breath catch in his throat. She moved with impossible grace, her silver skin catching the sunlight with subtle iridescence. Her eyes were larger than human eyes, with vertical pupils that adjusted visibly to the earth sunlight. The markings on her skin pulsed gently with inner light in a hypnotic rhythm. She descended the ramp slowly, deliberately, as protocol demanded. When she reached the bottom, her eyes found Nathan immediately, studying him with open curiosity. He stepped forward as rehearsed and extended his hand palm outward in the Valkyrie greeting. "Welcome to Earth, Princess Zara," he said in carefully practiced Valkyrie. Though his accent mangled the complex tonal language, subtle expression that might have been surprise crossed her features. She responded in perfect English. "I am honored by your welcome, Nathan Miller. The translation implant serves me well." It seems her voice had an unusual musical quality that no translation technology could fully capture. As they completed the formal greeting rituals, Nathan noticed something unexpected in her eyes, behind the diplomatic facade and practiced movements. Was it fear? Uncertainty? He had expected many things from this arrangement, but vulnerability from an alien princess had not been among them. 3 weeks after the landing ceremony, Zara sat in the garden of the diplomatic residence that now served as her home on Earth. She watched with fascination as butterflies danced among the flowers. The Earth insects were so different from the crystalline, flying creatures of her homeworld. The garden had become her refuge, a place to escape the constant diplomatic meetings and curious stares. Nathan approached, carrying 2 drinks. "How are you adjusting to Earth?" he asked, handing her a glass of the fruit juice she had developed a preference for. "Better each day," Zara replied, accepting the beverage. "Your insects are particularly fascinating." He sat beside her on the bench, careful to maintain a respectful distance. Their marriage ceremony had been performed, twice, once in the human tradition and once following Valkyrie customs. Though they now lived together in the same residence, they maintained separate sleeping quarters. Nathan had been unfailingly kind, never pressing for more intimacy than she was comfortable with. "I received another message from my father today," Zara said, her luminescent markings dimming slightly. Nathan noticed the change in her bioluminescence, learning to read her emotional states through these subtle shifts. "What did the king have to say?" he asked. "He demanded progress reports on the technology transfer," she replied. "He cares nothing for my well-being, only for what the Empire gains from this arrangement." Nathan frowned. "This marriage may have been arranged for political reasons, but you are a person, not a bargaining chip." Zara looked at him with surprise. "No Valkyrie male would express such a sentiment. Our worth is measured by our utility to the Empire. Especially for females of the royal line, our primary value lies in continuing the bloodline." She hesitated. "I should tell you something important, Nathan. My people consider me defective. I cannot produce offspring, according to Valkyrie medicine." That is why I was sent here. An infertile princess has little value, except as a diplomatic token. Nathan took her hand gently. That changes nothing about how I feel. But if it matters to you, Earth doctors might have different perspectives. Valkyrie and human biology are quite distinct. His touch was warm against her, cooler skin, the contact sending unfamiliar but pleasant sensations through her nervous system. Would you consider consulting an Earth physician? He asked carefully. I know Dr. Kimberly Boyd. She specializes in xenobiology and has been studying Valkyrie physiology since first contact. Zara hesitated, then nodded. I would be interested in a second opinion, though I have little hope. The next day, they visited Dr. Kim at her private research facility. The doctor was a friendly woman with dark, curly hair and an enthusiastic manner. She welcomed Zara warmly. Princess, it's an honor to examine you. I hope you don't mind, but I have prepared extensively, studying all the Valkyrie medical data your government has shared. Zara submitted to various scans as Kim worked, explaining each procedure. Can I ask what specific reproductive issue you were diagnosed with? Kim inquired. Zara explained. My ovulation cycle never initiated. The royal physicians determined my reproductive system was dormant, unable to produce viable eggs. A genetic defect they said occurring in approximately 1 in 10,000 Valkyrie females. Kim made detailed notes, her brow furrowed in concentration. Fascinating, she murmured. You know, our species are genetically compatible, in many unexpected ways. The recent research suggests that despite evolving on different planets, our base DNA structures share remarkable similarities. Some scientists believe this indicates a common origin, or perhaps panspermia. She continued running, tests occasionally asking Zara to move or adjust her position. Have the Valkyrie physicians attempted hormonal treatments? She asked. Zara nodded. They tried every known method, even genetic modification. All failed. The royal bloodline must remain pure, so artificial methods are forbidden. Kim completed her examination and invited Nathan to join them in her office. I have some interesting observations, she began. Valkyrie reproductive biology is cyclical like humans, but operates on a much longer timeline, approximately 10 Earth years for one complete cycle. Zara, according to my calculations, you are only just entering what would be your first potential fertile period. Zara stared in disbelief. That cannot be correct. I am 28 cycles old in Valkyrie years, equivalent to 36 Earth years. The maturation point is typically at 15 cycles. Kim smiled, but those metrics are based on the Valkyrie homeworld environment. Your species evolved under the light of a different sun with different atmospheric composition, different gravity. Our environment might be triggering changes in your hormonal balance. Kim pulled up several comparative scans. This is a standard Valkyrie female reproductive system based on your medical records. And this. She displayed a second image, is yours now. Notice the differences. The dormant structures are showing signs of activity. The problem might not be that you're infertile, but that your reproductive system develops at a different rate than what is considered normal for your species. Zara felt a strange sensation in her chest, something like hope mixed with fear. Is this possible? She whispered. Kim nodded. Nothing is certain. But I believe your reproductive system is viable, just delayed in development. The move to Earth might have been the catalyst your body needed. Exposure to different environmental factors. Solar radiation, atmospheric composition, even diet could all be contributing factors as they left the medical facility. Nathan noticed Zara was unusually quiet. Are you all right? He asked gently. She turned to him, her silver features catching the afternoon sunlight. I never permitted myself to hope, she admitted. Even if Dr. Kim is correct, I am not sure what it means for me. For us? She looked away. My father sent me here because I was considered worthless for continuing the royal line. What happens if that proves untrue? Nathan took her hands in his. Whatever happens, we will face it together. This marriage may have begun as a diplomatic arrangement, but I care for you, Zara. My feelings have grown beyond political necessity. Her bioluminescent markings pulsed brightly at his words, a reaction she could not control. Among my people, she said softly. Such an involuntary light response indicates emotional attachment. She looked down embarrassed by this display of feeling. Over the next 2 months, Zara and Nathan grew closer. Their separate sleeping quarters became a formality as they began to explore the physical aspects of their relationship. The differences in their biology created challenges but also discoveries. Neither had anticipated the intense neural connection that formed when their different nervous systems interacted. The experience was profoundly intimate beyond physical sensation, creating a bond that transcended their different origins. Zara began to experience strange symptoms. Her body temperature fluctuated, her energy levels surged unpredictably. Some mornings she woke with her bioluminescence glowing, at maximum intensity without conscious control. When she mentioned these changes to Nathan, he suggested another visit to Dr. Kim. The doctor ran additional tests with increasing excitement as she reviewed the results. Your physiology is changing. Zara adapting somehow to Nathan's genetic code. She pointed to the screen. The previously dormant reproductive system is not only active, it's creating something entirely new. The cellular structures are reorganizing. Impossible, Zara whispered. Our species are too different. Kim smiled. Sometimes biology finds a way when given the right catalyst. Your body is creating a hybrid reproductive system. Princess, something unprecedented in either of our species' records. All the indicators suggest you may be able to conceive a child with Nathan. Nathan looked stunned. Is that even possible? A human and Valkyrie child. Kim nodded cautiously. The genetic compatibility exists theoretically. However, this would be the first documented case if you decided to try. The medical implications would be significant. We'd need to monitor closely, develop new protocols, ensure both Zara's health and any potential child's well-being. That night, as they lay together in their shared bed, Nathan held Zara close. How do you feel about what Kim said, he asked. His fingers traced the luminescent patterns on her arm, which pulsed in response to his touch. Zara was silent for a long moment. I never imagined this possibility. She finally replied, I was raised to believe my condition was a failure, a disappointment. I accepted that I would never continue the royal line. 2 months later, Zara sat nervously in Dr. Kim's examination room. Nathan held her hand as they waited for the test results. The changes in her body had accelerated. Her silver skin now carried a subtle pearlescent sheen. Her bioluminescent markings were consistently brighter, and she experienced waves of unusual sensations throughout her nervous system. Kim entered the room, her expression a mixture of excitement and professional caution. The tests are conclusive, she announced. You are pregnant, Princess Zara. The first documented case of a human Valkyrie hybrid conception. The embryo appears stable and is developing at an accelerated rate, compared to either human or Valkyrie standards. Zara felt her light markings pulse erratically with emotion. Are you certain? She whispered. Kim nodded, showing them the scan images. The embryonic structure combines elements of both species, but is developing its own unique patterns. These cell clusters here, she pointed, are entirely novel. Neither human nor Valkyrie, but something new. Nathan squeezed Zara's hand. How is this possible? He asked, his voice filled with wonder. Kim launched into a detailed explanation. The cellular compatibility between your species is remarkable. The embryo has developed a unique method of energy transfer using Zara's bioluminescent capabilities combined with human mitochondrial functions. It's almost as if the cells from both parents negotiated a new biological protocol. The child healthy? Zara asked the question that concerned her most. Kim smiled reassuringly. All indicators suggest yes. The hybrid nature actually appears to confer certain advantages, including enhanced cellular regeneration and immune response. However, she cautioned, this is unprecedented territory. We We'll need to monitor closely, develop new protocols as we go, as they left the medical facility. Nathan noticed Zara's distress. "What troubles you?" he asked. She looked at him, her vertical pupils dilating with emotion. "My father must never know about this child," she said. "The implications for the Empire, for the Alliance. He sent me here because I was infertile, because I had no value for continuing the royal line. If he learns I carry a hybrid..." Nathan frowned. "But surely this strengthens the alliance between our species. A child of both worlds, a living symbol of cooperation." Zara shook her head. "You don't understand Valkyrie politics. The royal bloodline has remained pure for 10,000 years. My father believes in absolute genetic purity. The hybrid nature of this child would be seen as contamination, not cooperation." Despite their precautions, the news spread quickly through diplomatic channels. 3 weeks later, Zara received an urgent communication from home. The holographic projector activated, revealing her father's enraged face, his bioluminescent markings flashing in patterns that indicated extreme anger. "This violates our agreement," he roared. "The princess was certified infertile. This union was meant to be symbolic, only his." 6 fingers drummed furiously on the crystalline desk before him. "The humans have manipulated our genetic legacy. Zara, I command you to terminate this abomination and return to Valkyrie immediately." Zara stood tall before the projection, her own markings pulsing defiantly. "I will do no such thing, father. This child is mine. A legitimate heir to the Valkyrie throne, conceived through natural means." The king snarled. "There is nothing natural about this corruption of our royal line. You were sent to Earth because you were useless for reproduction. Now you conspire with these primitives to pollute our genetic heritage." Ambassador Ellen, now promoted to senior ambassador, stood firmly beside Zara. "Earth medicine confirms the pregnancy. King Raxus, your daughter is carrying the first Valkyrie human child in history. This strengthens our alliance in ways never imagined. The hybrid child represents the future of cooperation between our species." The king slammed his fist, breaking his silence. Nathan stepped forward. "Your Majesty, with respect. Princess Zara is my wife, and this child is heir to both our worlds. This represents evolution, not violation." The king cut the transmission abruptly, leaving them in tense silence. That evening, an emergency meeting was called at the UN Extraterrestrial Relations Headquarters. Ellen addressed the assembled human officials. "The Valkyrie king has recalled their ambassadors and suspended the technology exchange program. He threatens to cancel the alliance entirely unless Princess Zara terminates her pregnancy and returns to her homeworld." Secretary General Olivia Martinez, a stern woman with silver-streaked hair, frowned. "This is unacceptable. The princess has asylum on Earth if she wishes it. We will not force any being to terminate a pregnancy against their will." Ellen nodded. "The scientific community is in agreement. The princess and her child are under Earth protection. However, we must consider the broader implications. The Valkyrie could become hostile on the Valkyrie homeworld." The Royal Council met in emergency session. King Raxus raged before the assembled elders. "This human contamination cannot be allowed to continue. The princess must be retrieved, and the abomination removed from her body." Elder Terra, the oldest living Valkyrie, her silver skin now faded to pale gray with age, raised her hand for silence. "You forget the ancient texts. Your Majesty," she said, her voice carrying surprising strength. "Has no one consulted the prophecies?" The younger council members shifted uncomfortably at the mention of the old religion, while the king's expression darkened superstition. He spat. "Our empire is built on science, not myths." Elder Terra stood shakily with the aid of her crystalline staff. "Our science evolved from understanding the natural laws, the same natural laws that guided our ancestors." She countered. "The prophecy speaks clearly of silver blood mixed with red, bringing renewal when the stars grow dim. Our species faces genetic stagnation." King Raxus, "You know this. Our birth rates decline with each generation. Our children grow weaker. Our luminescence dims. Our scientists predict extinction within 15 generations. This hybrid child may carry adaptations we desperately Need, she continued. The prophecy speaks of a child born of distant stars who will carry the light when darkness threatens to engulf us. Raxus paced furiously. What prophecy, old woman? Your superstitions mean nothing. She fixed her ancient eyes on him. The same prophecy that put your bloodline on the throne 9 generations ago. Or have you conveniently forgotten that part of our history? As tensions escalated between Earth and the Valkyrie Empire, Zara's pregnancy progressed. Her body changed, developing new protective mechanisms for the growing child. Nathan remained by her side, learning everything about Valkyrie physiology to ensure her health. Dr. Kim documented every development, creating new medical protocols for this unprecedented situation. One night, as they watched the stars from their garden, Zara felt the child move. Nathan placed his hand on her rounded belly in wonder. "Do you regret being sent here?" she asked softly. He kissed her forehead. "How could I regret finding you?" The universe brought together 2 people deemed incompatible and proved everyone wrong. The baby kicked as if in agreement. Unknown to them, a faction of extremist Valkyrie had arrived on Earth. Their mission to capture the princess and terminate the hybrid heir. A spy within the diplomatic corps had provided them with security details and access codes. As Zara and Nathan slept that night, shadowy figures disabled the residents' security systems and slipped inside. Zara woke suddenly, her heightened senses detecting the intruders before they reached the bedroom. "Nathan," she whispered urgently, "we have assassins." Her bioluminescence dimmed to almost nothing as she activated her natural camouflage abilities. Nathan quickly activated the emergency beacon Ellen had provided them, then grabbed the pulse weapon from beneath the bed. The bedroom door slid open silently as 3 Valkyrie warriors entered their specialized armor, making them nearly invisible in the darkness. Only their faint bioluminescent markings betrayed their presence. Nathan fired the pulse weapon, catching one attacker off guard. The warrior fell with a cry, alerting the others. Zara launched herself at another attacker, moving with surprising speed, despite her pregnancy. The fight was brief but violent. One warrior managed to inject Zara with a sedative before Nathan could subdue him. As Zara collapsed, Nathan caught her, cradling her protectively. The Earth security forces burst in moments later, led by a specialized team trained for extraterrestrial threats. The remaining Valkyrie warrior activated a suicide protocol, dissolving into luminescent particles before he could be captured. At the medical facility, Dr. Kim worked frantically to counteract the unknown sedative. In Zara's system, the child is in distress, she reported as monitors beeped urgently. The sedative was designed specifically for Valkyrie physiology, but the baby is part human. Its system can't process. The compound Elder Terra arrived unexpectedly, transported to Earth on an emergency diplomatic shuttle against the king's orders. She approached Zara's bedside, her ancient hands hovering over the princess's abdomen. "I can help," she said to the suspicious Earth doctors. "Our old ways preserved knowledge that modern Valkyrie medicine has forgotten." She produced a small crystal vial. "This will neutralize the toxin and protect the child." Dr. Kim examined the crystal vial with skepticism. "What is this substance?" she asked Elder Terra. The ancient Valkyrie smiled, revealing teeth that shimmered with age. "We call it starlight essence. It contains compounds that stabilize our bioluminescent systems and neutralize toxins." She held Kim's gaze. "It has been used by the royal family for generations to protect against assassination attempts." Nathan looked from the elder to the doctor desperately. The monitors tracking Zara's condition continued to show declining vital signs. "We don't have time for analysis," he urged. Kim nodded reluctantly and accepted the vial. "I need to understand the dosage," she said professionally. Elder Terra guided her hand. 3 drops only on her primary light centers. The throat, the forehead, and over the heart. Kim carefully administered the glowing liquid as instructed. The effect was immediate. Zara's bioluminescent markings, which had been fading and erratic, suddenly pulsed with renewed strength. Their color shifted from pale blue to a deep, vibrant indigo. The monitor stabilized, then showed improving metrics. The fetal heartbeat grew stronger, more regular, Elder Terra nodded with satisfaction, watching as Zara's eyes fluttered open. The princess focused first on Nathan, then noticed the elder with surprise. "Elder Terra," she whispered. "What are you doing on Earth?" The elder patted her hand gently. "Following the prophecy, child. As I have all my life." Her ancient eyes twinkled. "You and your hybrid little one are quite the disruption to politics as usual." While Zara recovered, Nathan consulted with Ambassador Ellen and Dr. Kim. "The assassination attempt changes everything," Ellen said grimly. "We cannot guarantee your safety here. The Valkyrie extremists have proven they can bypass our security. We need to move you to a secure location." Dr. Kim interjected. "The princess is entering her 3rd trimester, according to my calculations. The birth could occur within weeks. The child's development is accelerated. Compared to either human or Valkyrie norms." Nathan ran a hand through his hair anxiously. "Where can we go? The Valkyrie have spies throughout the diplomatic corps, and the extremists clearly have advanced technology." Elder Tara, who had been sitting quietly in the corner, spoke up. "I know a place. A sanctuary hidden in the mountains of this continent. My followers have maintained it in secret for generations." She smiled at their surprised expressions. "You didn't think I came to Earth just for this visit, did you? The Guardians of the Prophecy have had a presence on your world since first contact." Ellen looked skeptical. "Why should we trust you?" Elder Terra raised an eyebrow. "Because I defied my king to come here. Because I saved the princess and her child, and because," the elder pulled back her sleeve, revealing an ancient marking that caused Zara to gasp in recognition. "The royal guardian oath," she explained to the confused humans, "sworn to protect the royal bloodline above all else, even above the king's commands, a secret order older than the current dynasty." 2 days later, a small convoy of unmarked vehicles departed from the medical facility. Under cover of darkness, they traveled to a remote mountain region. Nathan kept a protective arm around Zara as their vehicle navigated the winding roads. The princess had recovered her strength but remained vigilant for threats. The sanctuary turned out to be an extraordinary structure. Built into the mountainside, it combined Earth architecture with Valkyrie technology. The exterior appeared to be a natural rock formation, but the interior revealed vast chambers with crystal light sources and advanced environmental controls. A small community of Valkyrie lived there alongside human scientists and scholars. "We have waited generations for this moment," Elder Terra explained as she showed them to their quarters. "The prophecy has been our guiding light. The birth of the hybrid child represents the beginning of a new era for both our peoples." She touched Zara's abdomen gently. "The child already glows brighter than any Valkyrie in recorded history." The sanctuary provided a safe haven as Zara's pregnancy reached its final stages. Dr. Kim established a state-of-the-art medical facility within the complex, developing protocols for the unprecedented birth. Elder Terra's followers shared ancient medical knowledge that complemented Kim's scientific approach. The combined wisdom of both worlds created optimal conditions for the hybrid child. 1 month later, Zara went into labor. The birth process lasted only 4 hours, remarkably short by both human and Valkyrie standards. Elder Tara and Dr. Kim worked together, guiding Nathan as he supported his wife. Throughout the process, Zara's bioluminescence fluctuated wildly, creating a light show that the elder claimed had not been seen since ancient times. When the child finally emerged, both humans and Valkyrie in the room gasped in wonder. The infant girl had silver skin like her mother, but with a warm undertone that suggested human heritage. Her eyes, when she opened them, were shaped like her father's, but with the vertical pupils of a Valkyrie. Most remarkably, the child glowed with inner light, brighter than any Valkyrie in recorded history. Her luminescence pulsed in complex patterns that Elder Terra declared she had never seen before. Nathan cradled his daughter with tears in his eyes as Zara watched with exhausted joy. "She is perfect," the princess whispered. Elder Terra nodded with satisfaction. "The prophecy child," she confirmed. "The one who will bridge worlds and bring renewal to our people." Dr. Kim conducted careful examinations over the following days, documenting the extraordinary adaptations the infant displayed. Her hybrid physiology showed remarkable resilience combining the best aspects of both species. She possessed the enhanced immune system of the Valkyrie, with the neurological adaptability of humans. Her cellular structure revealed entirely novel configurations that Kim theorized might allow her to thrive in environments hostile to either parent species. The child, whom they named Hope, became the center of intense scientific interest. Word of her birth spread. Despite the sanctuary's secrecy, researchers from both worlds sought permission to study the unprecedented hybrid. While Kim maintained strict protocols to protect Hope and her parents, the data collected was undeniable. The child represented an evolutionary leap forward. On the Valkyrie homeworld, political turmoil increased. Elder Terra's faction gained influence, spreading word of the prophecy. Child rebellious groups rose against King Raxus, demanding recognition of the hybrid heir as legitimate. The royal scientists presented disturbing data, confirming what Elder Terra had claimed. The Valkyrie species faced genetic stagnation with each generation, showing diminished bioluminescent capacity and increased fertility issues. Ambassador Ellen received an encrypted transmission from the Valkyrie homeworld. The Royal Council has voted to override the king's decision, she informed Nathan, and Zara, Princess Zara, and her child have been declared legitimate members of the royal family with full rights and protections. The council requests your return under diplomatic immunity to present the child to the people. Nathan looked skeptical. It's obviously a trap. He said Raxus would never agree to this. Ellen shook her head. The political situation has changed dramatically. The king faces a serious challenge to his authority. The rebels control 3 provinces, and the scientific community has publicly supported Elder Terra's position. Our intelligence suggests this is a genuine offer with the council, limiting the king's power. Zara cradled Hope, who was now 3 months old and developing at an extraordinary rate. The child already showed signs of advanced cognitive abilities. Her bioluminescent patterns had become increasingly complex, and she had begun responding to both human language and Valkyrie-like communication. My father will never accept her, Zara said firmly. He would rather destroy us than admit he was wrong. Elder Terra, who had been listening quietly, spoke up. There is another option, the right of succession. An ancient tradition that even Raxus cannot ignore. If the child demonstrates superior luminescence in the crystal chamber, the people would recognize her as the rightful heir. Regardless of the king's wishes, it would be dangerous. Nathan objected. We would be placing ourselves at the king's mercy. Zara considered the options, carefully weighing the risks against the potential benefits. If we remain in hiding, she said eventually, my father will find us. The sanctuary is secure but not impenetrable, and Hope deserves her birthright. She should not grow up as an exile. She looked at Nathan. Our daughter represents the future of both our species. Perhaps it is time we stopped hiding and faced my father directly. After much deliberation, they agreed to return to the Valkyrie homeworld. Under specific conditions, a joint Earth-Valkyrie security force would protect them at all times. The rite of succession would be conducted immediately upon arrival and broadcast throughout the Empire. Elder Terra would accompany them as the official representative of the ancient traditions. The journey to the Valkyrie homeworld took 2 weeks in a specially modified vessel. Dr. Kim joined the expedition, documenting Hope's continued development. The child grew stronger each day, her abilities advancing at a pace that astonished both human and Valkyrie observers. She had begun manipulating her bioluminescence consciously, creating patterns that Elder Terra claimed represented ancient Valkyrie script, not used in thousands of years. As they approached the Valkyrie system, Nathan stood with Zara at the view screen, Hope cradled between them. The twin moons came into view, orbiting the silver-blue planet. Are you ready? He asked, squeezing Zara's hand. She nodded, her bioluminescence pulsing. With determination, our daughter will change everything, she said. The old ways cannot stand against the evidence of her existence. King Raxus waited on his crystalline throne, his face an impassive mask. His royal guards surrounded him, their ceremonial weapons powered and ready. The throne room had been prepared for the rite of succession, the ancient crystal chamber uncovered. For the first time in generations, The massive crystal structure dominated the center of the hall, its faceted surface designed to amplify and measure bioluminescent output. Zara entered first as protocol demanded. She wore formal Valkyrie attire, modified to accommodate her changed physiology since becoming a mother. Her silver skin gleamed with health, her luminescence steady and controlled. Nathan followed, carrying Hope. The child was dressed in a simple white garment that allowed her natural light to shine unimpeded. Elder Tara and Dr. Kim completed the procession along with Ambassador Ellen and a mixed guard of humans and loyal Valkyrie. The king rose, his eyes fixed on the child. For a moment, silence filled the throne room. Then he spoke, his voice cold. "Your return is unexpected, daughter. I was informed of your treasonous activities." Zara met his gaze, unflinching. "I come to present your grandchild, father, the heir to both our worlds." She gestured to the crystal chamber. "I invoke the right of succession, as is my right by ancient law." Murmurs spread through the assembled court. Elder Tara stepped forward. "The princess claims the ancient right." "Your Majesty, the child must be tested. The laws that predate even your dynasty are clear. If her light outshines the royal line, she is recognized as true heir." King Raxus sneered. "These primitive traditions have no place in modern governance." The council leader, a stern Valkyrie female named Solara, interrupted, respectfully. "Your Majesty, the council has voted. The rite will proceed." With barely concealed fury, the king gestured toward the crystal chamber. "Let us witness this farce." Then the ancient protocols were followed precisely. The child would be placed alone within the chamber. Her bioluminescent output would be measured against records of all previous royal offspring. If she exceeded them, she would be recognized as legitimate, regardless of her hybrid nature. Nathan reluctantly handed Hope to Elder Tara, who would perform the ritual. The human looked worried. Zara squeezed his hand in reassurance. "Our daughter is stronger than any of them realize," she whispered. "Her light has never dimmed, not even in sleep." Elder Tara carried Hope to the chamber. The child watched the proceedings with unusual awareness, her eyes tracking each movement. As the elder placed Hope within the crystal structure, the child remained calm, showing none of the distress normal infants might experience when separated from their parents. The chamber sealed with a soft chime, activating ancient mechanisms. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Hope began to glow. The light began subtly at first, emanating from her core, bioluminescent centers. Then it intensified, spreading across her silver skin in complex patterns that no Valkyrie infant had ever displayed. The crystal chamber responded, its faceted surfaces amplifying and measuring the output. The ancient displays activated, showing metrics in a language so old few in the court could read it. Elder Tara gasped, her eyes widening. "The child is speaking light," she announced with awe. "The patterns. She uses the ancient script." The chamber flared brilliantly as Hope's luminescence reached unprecedented levels. The metrics climbed beyond any recorded measurements. The crystal itself began to resonate, creating harmonics that filled the throne room with ethereal music, a phenomenon mentioned in the oldest texts but not witnessed in living memory. King Raxus stood transfixed, his expression shifting from contempt to disbelief to something approaching fear. The council members bowed their heads in reverence as the light reached blinding intensity, forcing the human observers to shield their eyes. The royal scientists monitoring the proceedings confirmed what everyone could see. The hybrid child exceeded all historical records of bioluminescent capacity by an order of magnitude. When the chamber finally opened, Hope remained floating in its center, surrounded by a nimbus of light that supported her as gently as a mother's arms. Elder Tara approached, reverently receiving the child. "The prophecy is fulfilled," she announced, her voice carrying throughout the throne room. "The renewal begins with this child of two worlds. The genetic miracle of this child cannot be denied," announced the royal physician who had come forward to examine the results. "New scans confirm she carries solutions to our species' declining fertility. Her hybrid genetics demonstrate perfect stabilization of the luminescent genome. The modifications could save our people from extinction. One by one, The council members knelt before Hope, signifying their acceptance. Nathan and Zara stepped forward to reclaim their daughter. Only King Raxus remained standing, his authority visibly diminishing as the court acknowledged the child. "Come, father," Zara said softly. "Would you not meet your granddaughter properly? The only heir your infertile daughter could possibly have produced." A tense moment passed as the court watched the king's next action would determine the future of the empire. Would he reject the child and risk civil war, or accept her and preserve his dynasty, with a compromise that changed everything? Slowly, almost imperceptibly, Raxus stepped down from his throne and approached. His expression remained guarded as he studied the child. Hope reached toward him with curious eyes. A tiny hand extended toward his face. The king's face registered surprise as the infant projected a beam of concentrated light that touched his forehead. A gasp went through the court at this unprecedented display of control in one so young. Elder Terra whispered, "She offers the light of communion, an ability lost for generations." The king hesitated, then touched Hope's small hand. His expression softened as an unexpected connection formed. The child's light enveloped him briefly, and those watching saw his own diminished luminescence strengthen in response. "The genetic miracle of this child cannot be denied," he acknowledged, his voice softer than anyone had heard in years. "She carries our future in her hybrid cells." 1 year later, Princess Zara stood beside Nathan in the great council chamber as representatives from 12 worlds signed the interspecies cooperation treaty. Hope, now walking and communicating through complex light patterns, played at their feet, charming delegates from across the galaxy. With her unique abilities, King Raxus, now a doting grandfather, addressed the assembly. "What we once considered impossible has become our salvation." He nodded toward Zara, Nathan, and Hope. "This family represents our future, where differences become strengths, not weaknesses." The Valkyrie have already begun implementing genetic therapies based on the child's unique DNA. The first cases show remarkable improvement in bioluminescent stability and reproductive health. The Earth delegation, led by Ambassador Ellen, presented their own findings. Human scientists collaborating with Valkyrie experts had discovered that Hope's hybrid genetics offered solutions to several human diseases. The Children's Hospital in Geneva had successfully treated previously terminal cases using protocols developed from studying her immune system after the ceremony. Nathan found Zara on the observation deck looking out at the stars. "Did you ever imagine this outcome?" he asked, wrapping his arms around her. She leaned against him, her luminescence synchronizing with his heartbeat. "Not once," she admitted. "I was sent away as worthless, damaged goods." She smiled as Hope toddled toward them, the child's light creating playful patterns on the crystal floor. "Now our daughter transforms 2 civilizations." Elder Tara joined them, moving slowly with age, but her eyes bright with satisfaction. "The prophecy continues to unfold," she said. "The child brings light where darkness threatened." She knelt with effort to Hope's level. The little girl touched the elder's face with gentle fingers, creating a connection that made the ancient Valkyrie's faded markings glow with renewed vigor. "She gives strength to the weakened, renews what was fading," the elder said with wonder. Dr. Kim approached with her latest findings. "Hope continues to develop abilities we never anticipated." She reported her cellular regeneration is extraordinary, and she appears to instinctively understand genetic structures. When exposed to damaged DNA samples, she somehow projects light patterns that correspond to repair mechanisms. "We are just beginning to decipher what she can do." Zara watched her daughter with pride and wonder. She who was once considered defective had created something perfect, a bridge between worlds. What will she become? She wondered aloud. Nathan squeezed her hand. "Whatever she chooses," he replied, "and we will be there to guide her." Elder Tara smiled knowingly. The prophecy speaks of many children to follow. The first opens the door for others. The renewal has only begun. That evening, as Hope slept peacefully in her chamber, her luminescence pulsing gently in sleep patterns, Zara and Nathan stood on the palace balcony overlooking the capital city. The Valkyrie world glowed with the light of millions. Their combined bioluminescence creating rivers of light through the ancient streets I received. A message from the Human Genetic Council today, Nathan said. Their request has been approved. Compatible human Valkyrie couples may now volunteer for the hybrid program. Hundreds have already registered. Zara leaned against him, contemplating the implications. From exile to founding a new branch of evolution, she mused. My father still struggles with the concept, but even he cannot deny the benefits. Elder Terra says the ancient texts predicted this. Many children of mixed blood bringing renewal to both worlds.